China. The country has passed a comprehensive foreign relations law that grants it the authority to impose countermeasures against perceived threats. Now, this new law is all set to take effect on July 1st, and it reflects Beijing's ongoing efforts to strengthen its position amid strained relationships, especially with Western countries, particularly the United States. Now, the new law stresses its right to take corresponding countermeasures and restrictive measures against acts that violate international law, along with norms that endanger the country's sovereignty, security, even development interests.
The law on foreign relations is the first basic law that fully outlines China's major policies, principles and positions, and systems and structures concerning China's interaction with the world, and provides the overall rules and regulations on China's foreign relations. This piece of legislation has a foundational and guiding role in China's legal system on foreign affairs. Its main function is to lay out the guiding principles for China's diplomacy in general and set out the fundamental and principled provisions for the work in various fields on foreign relations.
All right, Andrew K.P. Lung, who's the international and independent China strategist from Hong Kong, joins me live right now. Thank you, Andrew, for joining in. Why is the new law being touted as one that aims to consolidate Xi Jinping's power and counters Western hegemony, especially the United States?
Well, it's just because over the past 5 years or so, starting from the Trump administration and onward to the Biden administration, the United States has been demonizing China and then mobilizing an all nation, all society, all state pushback against China. And then, of course, the most of the American people, over 90% of them, have a negative view of China, regarding China as an existential threat. So there is a 360 degrees pushback against China on trade, on technology, in the South China Sea, on human rights, and also in world geopolitics, allying the Americans, Western allies, to contain China. As you can see, if you look at the map, along China's eastern seaboard, you have recently a closer alliance between South Korea and Japan, and then further down you have, of course, the Philippines also been coming on board to adopt a more confrontational stance against China. And then, of course, you have Australia, you have, of course, India joining the court a long time ago, and then even mobilizing NATO allies and creating also the Asian NATO to contain China. And then, of course, the Chinese people are quite angry in support of President Xi. In fact, according to the Harvard Kennedy School and various other research, Elderman Trust and the Ipsos IPSOS based in Paris, the Communist Party government is the most supported by its people compared with many Western democracies, including the United States. So, and then, of course, the Chinese people's anger, together with the anger of President Xi's government, is that China cannot be expected just to turn the other cheek. I mean, and also the old mantra about high and buy no longer possible. Even if you are a peaceful panda, if you've grown into £1 million, you'll be threatening no matter what you do. So the old mantra about high and buy no longer applies to such a large economy of China.
All right. Andrew, how will the new law help China at a time when the world economy is talking about de-risking its reliance on China, especially in terms of supply chain?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the China's strength, even at this time, uncertain times, in spite of the worsening demographics and so on. China still remains the largest trading partner to many more countries than the United States, 128 compared with the United States 58. And according to the IMF, China would be the greatest contributor to global growth during the next 5 years. And that statement was made in April, just now, and recently. And also, if you look at the data for the past 10 years, China has been contributing to global growth more than a G7 combined. This is because China is the largest trader, the world's largest trader, the world's largest manufacturer, and then this is in the heart of the world's supply and value chain, closely embedded. And no matter even the products are not made in China, China will be involved either in terms of components like rare earths, materials, assembly, components, manufacturing, logistics, because the world's top 7 container ports are all in China, including Hong Kong. So this suggests that the rhetoric change from decoupling to de-risking takes cognizance of this reality. Even at de-risking, there's that much you can do. I mean, for example, on rare earths, China controls about over 90%, or if not more, including production. So it will be a long, long time before the West could decouple from China. Now, as far as this latest law is concerned, as I said, China cannot be expected just to lie down and take it, and then being insulted without talking back, being sort of sanctioned and also cornered, if not quartered, without kind of response. So the latest law is, of course, China's reaction to this. But even in spite of the law, in fact, China being a communist party controlled by a controlled economy, and yet the Chinese economy has been opened up to foreign businesses all these years, and all the big
All right.
how to handle this.